If you're scanning film, you probably ask yourself this question. Is modern software actually better, or does the original scanner software still win? Today, I'm putting that to the test, comparing VueScan and Nikon Scan 4 using the legendary Nikon Coolscan V. And results, honestly, are pretty surprising.
All right, for this test, I want to show something real world to y'all, not just perfect negatives. So I scanned 3 different images, 2 slides, and 1 color negative. I cleaned all of them with PEC 12 emulsion cleaner to give them the best chance of giving us the best possible image that they could. The first slide I'm going to show is, it's a heavily worn and scratched slide. It's probably at least 50 years old or close to it. The next one is a slide of Kodak Ektachrome that I shot myself and developed recently. And the other one is Kodacolor 100, which I underexposed and shot in a sort of shaded area. That way, I wanted to see what type of information it could pull out of that negative as well. Because, you know, not perfect negatives are a little bit harder to scan usually. So my goal was simple. I just wanted to see how each software handles different challenges. I'm comparing, if y'all didn't read the title, VueScan versus Nikon Scan 4. I do have the Nikon Coolscan, which you saw in the initial part of the video. It's the Coolscan 5. Amazing scanner. I love the detail it pulls out of the images. But I've been using VueScan, and recently I was able to get Nikon Scan loaded onto my old laptop and thought the results looked pretty good. So I just wanted to take and do a side-by-side comparison of VueScan versus Nikon Scan to see how they compared and if one was better than the other and vice versa. So let's get straight into it. These first ones I'm going to show you are straight scans from the software. No edits or corrections have been done. Then after that, we'll go on into some that I did some slight editing to. So let's go ahead. This first one here. This is the worn slide. And this was scanned with VueScan. It's very cool. It doesn't look bad. I mean, considering the condition of the slide, it came out pretty good. You can still see some of the scratches. It's not near as bad as what they are without using ice. Skin tones are a little cool. Like I said, you still got the scratches, but they are a lot better. But you can tell that is a pretty old and worn slide. Let's get over here to the Nikon Scan version. And wow, what a difference already. You can still see the scratches kind of look a little bit different. The colors a little bit changed on them, but the digital ice did really well with Nikon Scan as well. You can see there was some issues with the slide here too as well, which person could clean all that up. The sand looks a little bit better in my opinion. The skin tones definitely look a lot better. You can see more color and redness to the skin like you would in real life. So let's go ahead and put these up side by side with each other. And there. And like I said, these are straight from the software, straight scans. There hasn't been any color correcting or anything done to them yet. Let's go ahead and go over to, I'll show you the ones that I have did a little bit of editing on. And we'll get those up here as well. So let's go ahead and that one. Oh, we'll keep the VueScan. We'll keep the VueScan on the left, and the Nikon scans will stay on the right. All right, on this one, on I tried to warm it up just a hair on the VueScan image. As you can see, I brought the white balance up just a little bit, just to the contrast. Tried to give it as best possible as I could. Nikon Scan, I didn't adjust the white balance at all. Did have a little bit of vibrant. All I did on these, just to keep them as comparative as possible, I just used the auto function, except for white balance you have to do manually. But so for the exposure, contrast, all this is just done with the auto setting. And here you can see the side by side. They do look a little bit better, but Nikon Scan still pulled a lot more information out. And one thing I'll mention too, the Nikon Scan is about 120 megabytes for the TIFF file. The VueScan, this particular one is 124, but I scanned it twice. If I would have just did the single scan, it is about half that. So I was trying to make them as comparable as I could file size wise, to give them as good a chance as possible. All right, let's go ahead and go back and look at our next slide. This is going to be right here. This is the Ektachrome that I shot. Really good, clean image. Tell there was a little bit of something on the slide that apparently I didn't get off of the emulsion cleaner. But this is with the VueScan, a straight image. It's got a little bit of a purple cast to it. Details are pretty good. Let's look at the Nikon Scan. Quite a bit different. Again, like I said, these are straight scans, no editing to them yet, as you can see over here in the column. Definitely got a lot more color. Let's go and put them up side by side. Okay, let's get that on there. There we go. The Nikon has a slightly green tint to it. Not bad. The stems of the iris are definitely a lot more saturated. Look a little bit more true to life, in my opinion. Let's zoom in here just a little bit. Looks like to me it's slightly sharper in the Nikon Scan, and maybe because of the contrast of the better colors. The shadows definitely are darker and, in my opinion, look quite a bit better. Plus, I like how the grain is rendered in Nikon Scan better than VueScan. But again, that's my opinion. Your mileage may vary. And let's go ahead and go over and look at the edited versions. Start with the VueScan. I got rid of some of the purple cast. Oh, wait. Yeah. And got a little bit more color into it. We'll go ahead and pull up the Nikon Scan. Got rid of the green cast. Great colors. Again, the sharpness is great. Gonna get both of them pulled up here now. And they're both great images. The VueScan looks good also. There definitely is nothing wrong with that. And again, I just used the auto setting, and then I adjusted the white balance or the tint just a little bit to clean it up. That did very minimal on the editing. But like, look down here in the corners, how much more detail was pulled out in the contrast here in the Nikon Scan. All right, let's move over to the last image. This is going to be the Kodacolor 100 that was underexposed. All right. You can see here, oh, that's the Nikon scan. Okay, here's the VueScan. It didn't do bad considering it was underexposed. Skin tones aren't that great. Let's go ahead and go back to the Nikon Scan version. Definitely got a little bit more color to it. Skin tones look better, especially here, the highlights of their arm. If that would have been, if it had been exposed properly, that would have been probably her entire body and it would have looked really good. And we got definitely got good skin tones. Face a little darker, but like I said, she was in the shade. We'll go and pull up both of them here. And you can really see the difference. Got more of a purple hue to her skin tones in her face here than she does over here. The highlights on her arm are completely different. They look a lot more clear and vivid and brilliant on the Nikon Scan version. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Again, her nails look a little bit sharper as well as her fingers. We got more noise in some of the underexposed skin tones on the VueScan than we do on the Nikon Scan. We'll go and pull up here the edited versions. All right. All right. Over here on the left, again, is the VueScan. It definitely brightened up a lot more. Still a little purplish in the background. Seems like there's still a little more purple in her face. We could probably do a little bit more color grading. But Nikon, with just these basic slight edits, definitely a lot better skin tones. And a lot less noise in the grain on the Nikon Scan versus the VueScan. Also here on the black pipe, you can see there's a lot more color noise than there was on the Nikon Scan. And again, the VueScan was on the 2x scan, so that helps cut down on the noise when you're scanning as well. If I just did a single scan, it probably would have been a lot worse than this. So, now after looking at these, like I said, these are just some light edits, basic adjustments, nothing extreme. And you can start to see how much information each scan actually holds. And this is where the file quality really matters. The more data you have in your scan, the more you can recover in post. And to me, this is where these clearly start to pull ahead, and the Nikon Scan really brings it out a lot more. But so which one wins? That's the big question, and this is my honest answer. VueScan is a great piece of software. It's modern, it's constantly updated, incredibly versatile, helps keep older scanners usable on newer systems. And if you're using a flatbed scanner like an Epson V600 or V750, it's going to take the cake because Nikon Scan does not work with flatbed scanners. So it's a great software. But with like the Nikon Coolscan 5 that I got paired with Nikon Scan 4, it just delivers. It really does. The files are larger, there's more detail, and to my eye, the color is just simply better. So for me, that makes Nikon Scan the clear winner. But There is a catch. Nikon Scan 4 is very old. It's going on, pushing probably close to 20 years old now. They don't make the software anymore. You can still find it online, but it's a legacy software that takes a little bit more work to get installed on modern systems. But so while the results are incredible, you may have to fight a little to get it there, to be able to make it work. So at the end of the day, both these programs are capable of producing great results. It just really comes down to your workflow and how much effort you're willing to put into it. So what are you using to scan your film? Drop it in the comments. And if you'd like to see more tests like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like and share. And again, let me know which software you prefer in the comments. And again, thank you for watching.